Well, Ivan, you've been racing around this incredible place for the best part of a decade now, but what's your earliest memory of the TT?
The earliest memory would be watching DVD, well, VCRs back then of it, and I never dreamed that I would ever compete around the course, even at the Bennetts Grand Prix when I first come in 2008, and now obviously we're looking 9 years on, we're coming into 2017 TT. It still takes some believing, really, that you're part of it, and you're going to be doing it for another year.
When you came to race the Manx for the first time, had you been here as a spectator before?
No, never been a spectator. I just started down the Irish road race route, and then obviously the Manx and the racing around the Isle of Man was what you did as a road racer. So then I come and obviously got the bug, and then you come chasing the lap times and chasing the results, and this is where we are now.
So having come from the Irish road races to the Isle of Man, it's geographically not a massive jump, but was it a big adjustment for you?
Oh, massive. I mean, you watch the onboard laps and everything, how people learn now with the games and YouTube and things like that, and it's so different. Your first lap on closed roads, you're programmed to ride on one side of the road, and then you have this whole wide road and you can do what you want, and it does take a lot of adjusting. I would say, they say 3 years, and I would say 3 years realistically till I started pushing on at any sort of rate and getting reasonable results.
That came pretty quickly then when you started pushing on, and obviously you've had lightweight wins and stuff in the last couple of years now, so do you feel like there's more to come from you?
Yeah, definitely. I think with the lightweight, we're obviously probably got people gunning for us on that class, and the bike's good, and I'm very confident on it. But big bikes, I could really do with pushing on or just getting more gelled with it. Over the last 2 years, my lap times have progressed, but everyone else's are progressing as well. So really, I'm not going up any further up the leaderboard. This year, I would really like to do a 130. That's a significant lap for me. That'll be 2 mile per hour on my lap speed. But if Michael and Hutchie go and do 134, 135, then my 130 is less significant. But it would still be a good personal goal, and it'd be good for the team. And as long as we keep coming and progressing, that's good for everybody, really.
Just chatting to Josh Brooks there before, and he was saying that the faster you get, the more the course actually changes, so you've got to keep learning every year. Is that your feeling as well?
Yeah, that's it. Like you'll go out and you'll do a lap quicker than you've ever done before, and it doesn't feel that much different, but then you try that little bit harder, and as well, obviously Josh has alluded to, the corners become more of corners, and you're pushing on and you're pushing on the brakes, and it all becomes more difficult. But once you've done it that 2 or 3 times at that speed, the increased speed, then that becomes the norm, and then it's easy. Then you push on to the next mile an hour or the next little bit, and for 2 or 3 laps it'll be difficult, and then it becomes the normal. It's good. That's what makes it special, really. And because we do so few laps every year, you don't get that. 20 laps at Donington Park takes half hour, 20 laps of this place takes a whole year. So it's a year-on-year gain as opposed to a day-on-day gain.
Sure. Have you got is there a corner that you particularly liked when you first rode here? Is there a corner you particularly like now, and has that changed?
I always I like areas of the circuit, so I like the run from Sarah's Cottage probably to the bottom of Bagara, that nice and flowing through the 11th, through McGuinness's, but then you drop into the 13th, and I absolutely hate the 13th. It's one of them corners that you go through and you think, right, next lap I can go through there a load quicker, and you seem to brake 2 yards later, and it just feels like you're not going to get stopped. I think it's one of them corners that you go through at a speed, and you can't really go through any quicker, but it's one of them corners you think you're losing time, come on, we need to push through. And there's a few places on the mountain that I'm personally not 100% confident with, because you're going so fast and there's no reference points. But it's practice, it's laps, it's getting your head up to speed and little reference points that by senior race day, hopefully you've ironed them out and you go and do your fastest lap of the week.
So given that, and given, as you said, the relatively limited amount of track time that you get, do you still feel like you're learning the track?
Yeah, as the lap speeds increase, as the circuit changes, so every lap you come back from a winter off. I won't even do a lap in a car or watch an onboard lap. I'll come and get the first night of practice out of the way and then start analysing what you've done. Just get your head up to speed, and then it's just chipping away. It's little bits, and them little bits just come with laps. And if we get a good practice week and get a good race week, then you get the laps. And last year, by Thursday, I was happy to go racing, whereas the previous year, we was all struggling to qualify bikes and was lining up on the grid with only 2 laps under our belt. So you can't expect to go and get your best results on a bike with 2 laps. But you just go and do what you can, and that's what makes it special with the weather, with the circuit, with all the other things that either bring the results or not.
We're a couple of months away now from the TT.
Yeah.
What are your preparations going to be over the next couple of months? Do you have a fitness routine, regime, any kind of routines from previous years that you'll start to pick up now?
Yeah, I'm personally sponsored by USN now, and they've really sorted out my nutrition and fitness side of what I do, and I do have a programme set out for me that hopefully irons out my weaknesses. I know where I am weak, and we went testing for 4 days and certain bits of me ached and certain bits didn't, so we'll go and work on them over the next couple of months on the run to the TT, and of course we'll get more bike time, more testing, and as the racing starts, as the weather picks up, hopefully we'll come into the TT fitter, faster, stronger than we ever have been before, and hopefully that will translate into bigger and better results.
And machinery-wise, how do you go about preparing everything? What are you on for the different classes, and what sort of testing or racing schedules have you got lined up before the TT?
But we're on Kawasaki machines again this year. Obviously, I'm racing with Debit RC Express again, so there's good continuity within the team. It's my 3rd season with them. We'll have a new twin, but we'll have the old twin there if the new twin doesn't work as we hoped it will, and we'll have one of them new ZX10s and a new ZX6, so it's all sort of new bikes, but nothing's far away from previous years, so hopefully we'll just be able to throw a setting in from last year and not be far away and just tweak here and there. And the early meetings, which will only be club racing in the UK, and then we start our road race season at Scarborough, Oliver's Mount, and then we're to the northwest, and hopefully the northwest gets you up to speed. It gets you 195, 200 mile per hour, your head up to speed, the bike's handling, and then first night of practice at the TT isn't such a shock.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
And finally, once it's all over, what's going to make you happy when you're heading on the plane or the boat back? Are you thinking lightweight wins again, or is it that 130 mile lap that you mentioned before?
I would love to come and defend the lightweight title. Obviously we've done it twice now and I know I can do it. It's just round the Isle of Man you've got to have lady luck on your shoulder, and if we have a good successful day we'll certainly be in the mix for the win. And in the other classes, 130 mile per hour lap on a big bike would be phenomenal, and depending on how other people do, that could be 8th or 10th place in a senior, or that could be 20th place in a senior, so you can't really put a result on that. I think it's just 600 and 1,000 a lap time driven, and we'll finish where we finish, put the twin on the podium or hopefully the top step.
Brilliant, wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you very much.